What happens when an airplane runs completely out of runway? For most pilots, it is a deadly nightmare. But for the 10 extreme machines on this list, it is just another day at the office. Today we are looking at aircraft that completely defy the laws of aviation physics, capable of dropping out of the sky and slamming onto jagged riverbeds or frozen glaciers without a scratch. Absolutely insane. Stay tuned until the end to witness a 680 horsepower turboprop monster that will absolutely blow your mind. Hit that subscribe button now and let us dive in. Starting off our countdown at number 10 is the Aeroprakt A22 Foxbat. Designed in Ukraine, this two-seat high-wing light sport aircraft is the perfect gentle introduction to extreme short-field performance. Powering this nimble machine is a highly reliable Rotax engine, pushing out exactly 100 horsepower. While 100 horsepower might sound like what you would find in a riding lawnmower, the Foxbat only weighs around 600 pounds empty. Absolutely incredible. This massive power-to-weight ratio allows it to lift off the ground in just over 100 feet. Visually, the Foxbat is famous for its massive, bubble-like canopy and doors made almost entirely of clear polycarbonate. This design provides the pilot with helicopter-like visibility, which is a crucial advantage when you are scanning a bumpy riverbed for a safe place to touch down. It utilizes a thick, high-lift wing design, equipped with flaperons running along the entire trailing edge. In the real world, this aircraft is heavily used for aerial livestock mustering and backcountry flight training, allowing pilots to safely hover over the landscape at incredibly slow speeds. A fascinating detail about the Foxbat is its ability to fly comfortably at around 40 miles per hour. This means on a windy day, you could literally drive a Ford F-150 on the highway. Faster than this airplane flies above you. Truly shocking. Listen to the high-pitched, smooth hum of the Rotax engine as it glides through the air. It is a fantastic piece of engineering for slow-speed control. However, if you think hovering at highway speeds is cool, wait until you see a true heavy-duty American classic built for the deep woods. Coming in at number 9 is the American Champion Scout. Born in the United States in the early 1970s, the Scout is the absolute definition of a traditional rugged American bush plane. It abandons the ultra-lightweight philosophy for raw durability, utilizing a proven Lycoming engine that delivers a solid 180 horsepower. Built on a welded steel tube fuselage wrapped in fabric, this tandem-seat taildragger is designed to take a severe beating. It is truly tough. It is fully capable of hauling around 700 pounds of useful load directly into the wilderness. When looking at a Scout, you immediately notice its aggressive, nose-high stance, usually sitting proudly on massive 29-inch Alaskan bushwheel Tundra tires. These tires act like massive, low-pressure shock absorbers. They allow the airplane to roll over rocks the size of bowling balls without destroying the landing gear. It relies on simple but highly effective slotted flaps to increase lift and drastically reduce its stall speed. In practical applications, the Scout is legendary in the Pacific Northwest and Alaska, used daily by hunting guides to access narrow, muddy logging roads. The Scout holds a special place in aviation history because it essentially took the basic design of the humble Aeroprakt Champion and injected it with steroids, turning a civilian trainer into a backcountry workhorse. Hear the deep rhythmic thumping of the classic Lycoming Flat 4 engine as it powers through the mountain passes. It commands absolute respect in the short takeoff and landing community. Even so, what if you need to carry more than just 2 people into the wild? The next incredible machine on our list steps it up in a major way. At number 8, we have the Maule M7. Manufactured in Georgia, United States, the Maule aircraft family has been a staple of backcountry flying for decades. The M7 series takes the traditional bushplane concept and supersizes it, featuring a spacious cabin driven by a robust Lycoming engine pumping out up to 260 horsepower. With a maximum gross weight of 2,500 pounds, The Maule M7 was engineered to carry heavy camping gear. Multiple passengers and a full tank of gas can all be lifted out of a tiny dirt clearing. Very impressive. The visual design of the Maule M7 is distinctly utilitarian and extremely purposeful. It features a high-wing configuration, a rugged steel tube airframe, and distinctively large squared-off tail surfaces to maximize rudder authority at slow speeds. It is famously equipped with negative camber flaps, meaning the flaps can actually be reflexed slightly upward to increase cruise speed and then drop down up to 40 degrees to act like a massive air brake for short landings. In the harsh environments of the Canadian Rockies, the M7 is the ultimate heavy-duty family hauler. A legendary anecdote about Maule aircraft is that the company founder, B.D. Maule, used to demonstrate the unbelievable short takeoff capability of his airplanes by taking off from inside a standard aircraft hangar and flying right out the doors, a true show of force. Listen to the raw roar of the 260 horsepower engine spooling up. It is a testament to raw American horsepower and brilliant wing design. However, if this seems like a traditional enclosed airplane, just wait until you see the completely open skeletal frame of our next extreme backcountry contender. Taking the number 7 spot is the totally unconventional Birdman Chinook. Hailing from Canada, this ultralight aircraft looks like it was built from a giant erector set, but its performance capabilities will leave you absolutely speechless. Powered by a tiny but mighty Rotax 2-stroke engine, producing just 65 horsepower, the Chinook relies entirely on extreme weight reduction rather than brute force. The entire airframe is constructed from bolted aluminum tubing wrapped in Dacron fabric. This keeps the empty weight astonishingly low at around just 400 pounds, very light. To look at the Chinook is to look at the bare mechanical essence of flight. It features an open cockpit tandem seating arrangement, exposing the pilot completely to the wind, flying directly in front of a massive pusher propeller. The high-lift strut-braced wing is massive compared to the tiny fuselage. It generates so much lift that the Chinook can become airborne in less than 75 feet. Real-world applications for this aircraft are all about extreme low-altitude exploration and recreational flying over swamps where landing spots are incredibly tight. Flying a Birdman Chinook has been accurately described as riding a flying motorcycle strapped to a massive kite, truly exhilarating. This unique setup allows pilots to literally follow the exact path of a winding river just feet above the water. Hear the buzzing high engine revolutions per minute whine of the 2-stroke pusher propeller as it echoes through the valley. It is an absolute thrill ride, but if you think that ultralight agility is wild, we need to travel back to the Cold War for a heavy-duty military machine that defied aviation physics. At number 6, we introduce the legendary Helio Courier. Designed in the United States in the late 1940s, this aircraft was mechanically decades ahead of its time. Under the cowling, it hides a highly specialized geared Lycoming engine, generating 295 horsepower. The gearing allows the engine to spin at high revolutions for maximum power, while turning an oversized propeller at a slower, more efficient speed. This creates immense static thrust, allowing the Courier to claw its way into the air at just 30 miles per hour. Unbelievable. The Helio Courier might look like a standard high-wing taildragger, but its wings are a mechanical masterpiece. It is equipped with full-span leading-edge slats that automatically deploy on tracks at slow speeds, capturing the airflow to prevent a stall. More impressively, it features interceptor blades instead of standard ailerons to maintain roll control, even when the airplane is barely moving forward. In real-world applications, the Courier was the ultimate off-grid transport. It was capable of landing in carved-out mud strips surrounded by 100-foot trees in the Amazon jungle. Listen to the deep, steady hum of the geared Lycoming engine as it goes to work. The Central Intelligence Agency CIA actually heavily utilized the Helio Courier through Air America in secret operations in Southeast Asia. This was because of its terrifyingly short landing capabilities on remote mountain ridges. Have any of you ever had the chance to see a Helio Courier fly in person? Let me know down in the comments below, and do not forget to hit subscribe. Now, if you think the Helio is legendary, the next aircraft brings jet-fueled turbine power into the mix. Coming in hot at number 5 is the Swiss Army knife of the sky, the Pilatus PC6 Porter. Manufactured in Switzerland, this aircraft traded traditional piston power for a jet-fueled turbine. It is typically equipped with the world-famous Pratt & Whitney turboprop engine, producing a staggering 550 shaft horsepower. This aircraft is an absolute beast, so incredible, capable of lifting a gross weight of over 6,000 pounds out of a dirt strip. The turboprop engine provides massive thrust and allows the propeller to reverse, acting as a massive wall of drag. Visually, the Pilatus Porter is unmistakable, featuring an unapologetically boxy utilitarian fuselage with a massive elongated nose to house the turbine engine. It sits on rugged, long-stroke landing gear designed specifically to absorb horrific impacts on unimproved alpine surfaces. The real magic happens in the air. The Porter is legendary in the skydiving community and high-altitude rescue operations. Why? Because it can point its nose almost straight down, dropping at 4,000 feet per minute without overspeeding before leveling out and landing on a tiny frozen mountain glacier. The Pilatus actually holds the world record for the highest fixed-wing aircraft landing, touching down on a glacier in the Himalayas at an altitude of 18,865 feet. An unprecedented record. Listen to the distinctive, high-pitched whine of the turbine spooling up in the freezing air. It was another legendary favorite of Air America, dropping supplies into zones where no other airplane dared to go. However, if you need to haul an entire modern expedition team into the backcountry in total comfort, the next one is a modern flying tank. At number 4, we have the Quest Kodiak 100. Born in Sandpoint, Idaho, the Kodiak was designed from the ground up in the 21st century as the ultimate backcountry heavy lifter. Powered by a highly reliable Pratt & Whitney turboprop engine, 750 horsepower. This modern marvel is built to carry up to 10 people or massive amounts of cargo out of rough dirt strips. Unlike the older tail draggers on our list, the Kodiak uses a rugged tricycle gear configuration, making it much easier to handle on the ground in heavy crosswinds. The visual presence of the Kodiak is dominating, highlighted by its discontinuous leading-edge wing design. This acts somewhat like a permanent slat, ensuring the outer portion of the wing keeps flying and maintaining roll control, even if the inner portion stalls. You will almost always see it equipped with a massive belly pod for extra cargo storage. This emphasizes its role as a flying pack mule. In the real world, the Kodiak was specifically engineered for humanitarian and missionary aviation. It was built to fly deep into remote jungles or deserts to deliver critical medical supplies. An incredible fact about the Kodiak is that a portion of the profits from the commercial sales of this aircraft were originally dedicated entirely to funding humanitarian aviation groups around the globe. Hear the deep, throaty roar of the 750 horsepower turbine tearing down the runway. It is a magnificent combination of modern glass cockpit technology and brute force short takeoff capability. Even so, what if you do not need a heavy hauler, but rather a machine that can physically land on a literal pile of boulders? Get ready for this extreme machine. Taking the number 3 spot is the gravity-defying Just Aircraft SuperStol. Designed in South Carolina, this 2-seat kit plane looks like a giant, flying dirt bike built for the sky. You can equip it with various engines, but popular choices push between 100 and 180 horsepower. While that does not sound like turbine power, the SuperStol weighs roughly 750 pounds empty, a super light number. This gives it a thrust-to-weight ratio that allows it to practically leap off the ground in less than 50 feet of runway. The defining visual characteristic of the SuperStol is its insane landing gear setup. It features massive nitrogen-charged shock struts that offer over 20 inches of travel, combined with huge 29-inch Alaskan bush wheels. The wings are equipped with fully automatic leading-edge slats that snap out on their own when the aircraft slows down. This extreme setup allows pilots to intentionally stall the airplane, dropping it out of the sky like a rock, directly onto riverbeds, fallen logs, or mountain ridges, and the suspension completely swallows the violent, heavy impact. The SuperStol has become a massive crowd favorite at modern aviation competitions, where pilots race down a runway, land, turn around, and race back at breakneck speeds. Listen to the snappy, aggressive pop of the engine as it works the throttle. The way this plane slams onto the dirt and absorbs the shock without bouncing is purely mesmerizing mechanical engineering. On the other hand, if you think that extreme shock absorption is insane, just wait until you see the largest single-engine biplane in the entire world, waiting for you at the number 2 spot. At number 2, we present the indestructible Soviet Leviathan, the Antonov An-2. First flying in 1947, this aircraft is a sheer monument to Cold War engineering and brute force. It is powered by a massive 9-cylinder radial engine that displaces over 1,800 cubic inches and produces a ground-shaking 1,000 horsepower. The engine is fierce. This is not a nimble sport plane. It is a 12-passenger, heavy-duty utility biplane that weighs over 7,000 pounds empty. Yet, it possesses capabilities that put modern light aircraft to absolute shame. To behold the Antonov is to look at a flying piece of agricultural machinery. It features 2 massive sets of wings, giving it an absurd amount of lift area. The upper wings are fitted with automatic leading-edge slats, and the entire trailing edges are lined with enormous flaps. Because of this extreme lift generation, the airplane essentially has no listed stall speed in its manual. If it slows down too much, it simply sinks under full control. In practical applications, it has been used for dropping paratroopers in the absolute freezing wastelands of the Arctic. A mind-bending fact about the Antonov is that if a pilot points it into a headwind of about 35 miles per hour, the plane will literally fly backward relative to the ground. The truth is shocking. American mechanics often joke that if this radial engine is not leaking oil everywhere, it means it is completely empty, yet it will still fly perfectly. Listen to the deep, thunderous, spitting roar of the 1,000 horsepower engine. It is a legendary machine, but it still is not the most extreme aircraft on the planet. Get ready for the ultimate climax. Finally, at the number 1 spot, we have the undisputed king of extreme aviation, the Draco. Conceived and built by American engineering genius Mike Patey, Draco started its life as a standard 4-seat aircraft. However, Patey gutted the airframe and strapped an unbelievable 680 horsepower Pratt & Whitney turboprop engine onto the nose. Absolutely insane. This created a thrust-to-weight ratio that is completely unheard of in civilian bush planes, allowing it to take off in just over 70 feet and climb at an eye-watering 4,000 feet per minute. Visually, Draco was a terrifyingly beautiful monster that commanded attention everywhere it went. It sat incredibly high off the ground, on massive custom-built long travel shock absorbers and the biggest Tundra tires ever fitted to a plane of its class. The wings were completely redesigned, with extended leading-edge slats, custom vortex generators, and oversized Fowler flaps, all to harness the hurricane force wash from the massive 4-blade reversible propeller. In the real world, Draco was a one-of-a-kind backcountry explorer capable of carrying a family into high-altitude mountain strips. Though Draco was tragically destroyed in a crosswind takeoff accident in 2019, with everyone walking away safely thanks to its robust roll cage, it remains the ultimate symbol of extreme engineering, an immortal legend. Hear the deafening, ground-shaking roar of Draco's 680 horsepower turbine going into beta reverse. Mike Patey's creation proved that with enough horsepower, pure American ingenuity, and a massive set of tires, you truly do not need a runway to conquer the sky. It is the absolute pinnacle of short takeoff and landing performance, completely earning its #1 spot. These 10 machines are not just standard airplanes. They are raw, unapologetic mechanical engineering solutions to real-world survival problems. From the highly affordable simplicity of the Foxbat to the million-dollar heavy turbine power of the Kodiak and the insane obsession behind Draco, they perfectly represent humanity's refusal to let rough geography dictate where we can travel. Which of these mechanical monsters did you find the strangest? If you could ride shotgun in any of them, which would you want to see in person? Let me know down in the comments. Do not forget to hit like, subscribe, and ring that bell, because every week we bring you a brand new video about the most extreme heavy machines on Earth. See you in the next one.